Okay, finally we are here. Finally, uh, it's taken some time, but finally we are here. And I'll just tweet the link. So good evening, friends. Thank you so much for joining. Apologies, it took some time to come online. There was some problem which was happening, and because of which I could not be live. But now we're live, and it's good to be here. Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in. And today we got some right, we got some wrong. Happens that kind of a day. But the big call on the bank Nifty has really worked out. I think yes, some calls were great. I think some not so great. I think Indigo perhaps wasn't the greatest of the calls, but these things happen. But I mean, but I'm most happy with the Bank Nifty call for last 2 3 days because that's the one which would have made real money if you held. And even with the one contract, you would have made a lot of money on the Bank Nifty. That's the kind of move that you had. It was my daughter's birthday 2 days back, so that's why mm, you can see the balloons over there. So let me address the markets, and then of course we will take your queries as well. Once again, big day for the market. Once again, big buying by FII, at least the net buying. The gross buying was also not that bad today. Actually, I thought the volumes would be low, but they were low, but not that low. So that way, I think things did pick up a bit. Of course, on Friday we'll have very low volume, but I'm expecting volumes to pick up tomorrow and day after because of the expiry factor, and then Friday to have perhaps the least volume uh, for for the uh, in the near past or thereabout. So that's what we are expecting. Now, one thing which happened today was that ICICI Bank once again broke out a bit, along with Axis. They were my top 10 stocks yesterday as well. You will remember. My call has been that some of these corporate banks which fell, and especially which fell after that the whole bizarre story about some of these banks, and there was that internet story, and after that some of these banks had fallen, and they're now reclaiming their moves, their recent moves. I think it won't surprise me if ICICI Bank were to hit a fresh all-time high. Axis, of course, has some distance to travel, but ICICI should be able to get to its new high pretty soon. I think fairly soon, perhaps even in this expiry, it's possible. HDFC Bank is almost there. Kotak is there. So things are looking good. SBI, I think, is gaining momentum, a lot of it. So that could make a move towards say 285, 290. So that way, the bank Nifty is looking strong. I think the reason the Nifty towards the end couldn't really continue with the gains was because Reliance fell. And Reliance had a rally yesterday in anticipation of some announcement on the birthday of late Shri Dhirubhai Ambani, but nothing happened. So I think today it fell. But let's see. FII data in the F&O market is pretty mixed as you would expect. I mean, they've booked some longs, added some shorts. In the index options, what they've done is they've taken covered calls. They've bought 33,000 calls and they've sold 33,000 calls. They've bought 24,000 puts, they've sold 23,000 puts. So that's a perfect covered strategy that they seem to have done. So let's see. I think my basic premise on the market is that tomorrow perhaps the market meanders around a bit and say end somewhere around say 13, 960, 965, 970, thereabout. And on expiry day, the market has a gap up and takes out 14,000. I think 14,000 and all these kind of psychological marks are taken out with a gap because intraday what happens is there are a lot of programmed orders. There are a lot of algo trades which don't let the Nifty go to that mark easily. The reason the bank Nifty has been so smooth compared to the Nifty is because the bank Nifty hasn't had such difficulty. It took out 30,000 with a gap. Today it took out 31,000 with a gap. So when you take out these psychological marks with gap, then there's no problem. Tomorrow, what the bank Nifty may do is make another move, say towards 31,600, 31,700, and then on expiry day have another gap up about 32,000. It's that kind of a market. It's an expanding market, and you have to play it like that. You keep seeing me, keep hearing me talk about risk reward, but that's a different market. This is an unadulterated bull market. This is a parabola market. You have to play every market like that. Don't want to do futures, do it by options. That's up to you. But that's what I would say. Okay, let me now take some questions. Tata Chemicals. I think Tata Chemicals. I spoke about Tata Chemicals at 360, 370. I think some of you remember that it went to 520. It corrected. I think today it had a breakout and then it failed. The breakout failed. So today's gap needs to be filled. And let's see if it can fill today's gap, which is the first candle. Then I think it can have a big move. Perhaps we'll go back to its previous high as well, is what I would say. Tata Motors, I think Tata Motors was a big trade. I think I gave you that trade 2 days back. And I told you yesterday that it would give a great exit yesterday. Uh, and you should have taken that money in 2 days back to back rally. So today Tata Motors corrected. Nothing wrong with that. But Tata Motors, I think in the near term is headed higher. I think it won't surprise me if it goes back to say at least 220, 230, and then of course we will take it from there. It doesn't mean Tata Motors is out of the woods. It's not a portfolio stock by any stretch of imagination. Never has been, never will be. It's a trading stock, and you have to be smart in terms of entering and exiting. IDFC First Bank has shown a lot of promise for many years now. It's just somehow not been able to uh, fulfill that potential. But let's hope that it can do that. It has the right man to lead it. I think that's one reason that the market is still very bullish on IDFC First Bank because it's been led by B. Vaidyanathan. So that is what is helping. Bharti Airtel, my view has been very clear that it's when it fell, it was an opportunity. I normally don't advise averaging down, but this was one stock where I kept the faith, and I said that this is. I still believe Bharti Airtel uh, should go to about 1200 to 1300 in next 2 to 3 years. It just needs to take out recent high. I think it will face two resistances. First will be at 550, which is where the erstwhile support was, and then once again at the highs at which promoter sold 612 thereabout. The day it takes out 612, it will add 100 rupees effortlessly. So I think I'll still maintain. That view. Thank you, Bhavin. Uh, Here to help you and happy to help you. Uh, Thank you, Jay. I mean, I just try to uh, do my best. And you can't short in this market because the market is so strong. And sometimes you just have to, a bear has to just say, okay, can't short this market. Look, I think when this thing ends, it will give you a great shorting opportunity. But where will it end? Will it? I mean, I don't know. It could go to 20,000 and then end after that. Can you survive till 20,000 if you short? That is the whole point, my friend. So yeah, McDowell not performing is very odd and bizarre to me. I think with the management change, if you ask me personally, it's the best risk reward trade in the stock in the market right now. I mean, it's a stock which should be at least 4,000 to 5,000 bucks, not 500 bucks. But it just refuses to move. Diageo India is available at 500 rupees. I mean, imagine it's a company which has year on year reported profits. It's that kind of a company. And I think liquor in a country like India, where so much liquor consumption is there, it's very surprising that McDowell trades at the valuation that it does. But then that's market for you. Remember, Lever did the same for 10 years and then had that breakout and never looked back. I think something similar could happen with McDowell, is my sense. I am off t-shirts. I'm off 14,000, 50,000, 15,000, 1 lakh. Index could go anywhere. I'm not wearing those t-shirts again because once bitten, twice shy is what I would say. So thank you, Rishabh. Meher, it's moved up, yeah. Give some credit from the recent lows of 450, 460. It's moved up 523, 524. Obviously, it won't move like a cash market stock and give you bumper moves. And that's not my forte. And I would never do that also, by the way. I'll stick myself to good quality stocks. Indigo, yeah, I think Indigo perhaps turned out a bit bad because you know what? When the move started, it looked like it was moving up, but at that point, I forgot that there was going to be a press conference by Hardeep Puri, the aviation minister, and he said that will be some more extension of flight ban to UK, and I think that led to the decline. I think if today's high is taken out, I think all-time high is possible in Indigo as well. That's what I would say. Okay. Now, Bajaj Finance, what a remarkable stock. I think where are all those naysayers who were, ridiculing people on Bajaj Finance in 2000? Uh, you know, uh, Look, Bajaj Finance every year gives you this opportunity. Sometimes it gives you 10%, sometimes 20, sometimes 40, this year it was 60%. But that's what it does. Like I explained yesterday, Ashwini has moved on, and all the best to him. He remains my good friend. I talk to him all the time. But that's what I would say. So thank you so much, and we will see you with the market again tomorrow, and once again YouTube live tomorrow as well. Thank you so much for tuning in.